All right, we got Ben Burgess here, and we were just talking about we're on Zoom here, and Buck the Killer is your Zoom name. So can you tell the fans a little bit about that story because that sounded really interesting.
Yeah, this is you seen that video where that guy's like, man, I'm just doing hood rat shit with my hood rat friends. Like, we used to think we were cool and do a bunch of dumb shit when we were young. Ended up in an old man's backyard. He didn't like us very much, so he fired off he fired his shotgun off in the air, right? But we wanted to say it was at us, and so I didn't get hit with nothing. But they thought they heard the fence get hit, so they called me Buck Lucky. And here I am, man, with enough air in my lungs to sing about it.
Where are you at right now? And are you in Tennessee or Texas or?
I'm near a wheat field in Virginia. I just pulled off to talk to y'all. I'm headed to somewhere to go play with the Warren Ziders. I can't remember the name of the town. Charlottesville.
Okay.
College Town.
Does that?
Yeah, right. I think that sounds right. I think that's where Grady's from, Wes, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where Grady Smith is from, I believe.
Oh, shit.
The YouTube,
yeah, man. Yeah, so I just pulled over. I think I'm in front of a firehouse right now. My old man was a fireman, so anytime I see a firehouse, man, I'll pull up so I can talk to some firemen if they want to holler at me.
I love it.
I live across the street from one in Chicago, and they always are just like chilling in the front, like playing football and stuff. And people come by with their dogs and just, I don't know. It seems like a fun job aside from the whole like have to fighting fires and risking your life shit. But like, it seems like nice. They're all just hanging out, cooking and grilling.
So I used to live in Chicago with Wes at times as roommates, and then over the years, we lived all over the place. But in Chicago, if you've been to a Cubs game, there's a fire station right outside of the bleachers, and those guys have it best because the girls just want to like come by, and they're just like, and I feel like most of their calls are going to be for like drunk related things, right? So they send the fire truck.
Drunk girl got her head stuck in a fence or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's usually not like, hopefully not like actual danger, but no, that's cool to hear, dude. I've been listening to your album. I got myself a new truck, so I've been excited to just drive it. And your album has been playing on repeat for a while here, and man, you have a very, very unique way of. Some songs are like, I'm like, man, this is Texas country music or more traditional, and then you'll do something that sounds maybe a little like Morgan or whatever. And is that just always how you kind of approach your sound? It's like, it seems super authentic, but it's very kind of I don't want to say all over the place, but it's very unique in that regards, in a good way.
Shit, I appreciate that, man. I mean, as a creator, y'all know, y'all creating a brand, y'all want to do something that's, we're reinventing the wheel, but like the wheel fucking works. It's like a square wheel is not going to get you down the fucking highway. So you got to make it your own. And I think, as a creator, that's what I'm trying to do. So for you to say that, man, that just means we're hitting some of the marks that we want. We want to be able to say it. Everything's kind of been said. The chords have all been played before, but we're really focusing on saying something unique and honest. A lot of our policy when we're writing is like, yeah, that might be a cool title, but like, what are you going through right now? So, a lot of the songs that we ended up cutting were, true. They're all true stories, and they all really rung true and felt like, shit, we got to put this out because we've never heard it that way or because it said that. So I'm glad you said that, man. We're trying to, not copy too much and just be old school or new school, but somewhere in the middle.
Speaking of songs being true, I started taking notes before we started, and I had this in mind. And then I looked at a bunch of the fan questions that came through, and a lot of them had the same question. And it was, is started a band a true story? And if so, which I think it is based on what you just said, who was the artist that stole the girl?
Oh shit, I can't say it, man. I can't say it because it's gonna date me.
We'll have to tell you boys, after
I'll tell you boys when this is over, okay?
Okay.
But no, I went down in Austin, Texas, man, a long time ago. Probably 2008, 9. So there was an artist back then that was pretty funky, man, and he pulled up, and my lady at the time had actually pulled me into the show and was talking with him on fucking MySpace, I think it was back in the day, and was like, yeah, he really likes you and wants you to come on the bus and rap to him and all this stuff. And we hung out for a little bit, and then they disappeared, and I got blackout drunk, and my buddies reminded me of it the next day. They actually got the real story about what went down after that. I think it got pretty dark, but we got a really good song about it, man. My buddy
I love that song.
Chris LaCourte had the track pulled up, and I was like, I got the song for this, man. I got the title. Started a band, baby.
It's definitely better than
the Keith Urban one.
Keith Urban and Brad Paisley started. It's definitely a better song than that one. No, you don't got it. Yours has a little more
hard to beat though.
Nah, I mean,
I did
one
like
question. Real quick, Wes. One question I started asking people that nobody's going to answer. One day somebody will. Who's your favorite or your closest friend that makes music whose music you hate the most? Will you ever? Do you have a friend that like is in this business with you, making music, and you guys bust each other's balls about I don't like your music? Is that a thing, or does everybody pretend to like everything? Because what we notice in Nashville is everybody kind of pretends to like everything.
Man, y'all are asking the tough questions, man.
No, it's I don't expect anybody to answer this one anytime soon.
Well,
It's just
okay,
a new thing.
I'll answer it right now because we're very close and we've actually had some success before together. But Mr. Good Time, Nico fucking Moon. All right, now my only beef with him is that all he does are happy songs. And I said, Nico, just because you got some nice teeth, man, don't mean you got a smile on a song. So
It's so true. What happened to that Instagram? I went far enough back. I was like, oh, you were doing that before. Like the whole like it's just like whoa, like it's just like in your face, like look at my teeth. Like that used to not be the thing, you know.
I know.
But I'm with you on that. Like if everything's always happy, it's
yeah, I mean he's got that song like no sad songs, and it's like just sad songs make me happy, man. That's our motto over here.
Yeah, we have a bunch of the sad songs happy thing over here. Sorry, Wes, you were gonna ask something before.
I was gonna say like a guy that I like personally, met a handful of times. We've had him in the office twice. Is Walker Hayes. Don't like his music at all. Sorry, buddy. But great guy, you know, like nice dude, good family man. Like
this is like the part of the business that's crazy for us is like got to a point where we grew the team and had like, success and whatever. And it's like, you just meet everybody and it's impossible not to let the human element kind of affect things where it's like, well, maybe we don't like the song, but we're like, man, this dude was so nice and such a good dude. And hey, I wish him the best, but type of thing. But like, it happens a lot, but then you also meet the phony people, which you seem like our favorite people are the authentic ones. And we can already tell, you're not a phony in any way, but there are a lot of those. Right. And when you starting out, getting some traction, the label and the songs, and you have some crazy history writing songs. What was it? Lil Wayne I saw, and
some Martin Garrix tunes,
all kinds of crazy stuff. So when you started kind of going on that up and up, is that hard to navigate? Who has my best interest? Who's a phony fuck? Who's this? Who's that?
That's the chessboard in this whole game, is find your team. And honestly, that's why it took me so long to put out an artist project, is because, I got screwed over in my first publishing deal. When I moved to LA, they put me in it. And basically they had a clause in there to where I couldn't get out of it until I had a certain number of cuts on a major label. Right. But I had to have a certain percentage of, cuts, right? Because if we were all writing a song, we'd have thirds of a song. So they wanted me to have something like 400% of my own publishing released on a major artist on a major label in 1 year to be able to go into my next deal and get another round of rent. And once I got to LA, I'd write a song 50-50, me and a producer, or three of us. and I'd have 33%. And then by the end of it, once they got another producer, 2 other writers, the artist, I had like
10 fucking people on it.
8% of a fucking song. I'm like, how am I going to get into this next
Doesn't Thomas
thing?
Rhett have a song with like 17 people on it?
Yes.
Yeah. He sampled that war song. And I think that anytime you sample something, doesn't that pull in like 10 of them? Like,
exactly. So your piece can become diluted, and you know, it fucked with me, man. It messed with my head, and you know, as a creative, like, you know, we're all sensitive, man, and it can, and then when you are fucked off on something, for lack of better words, you know, it shows in your art and your creativity and your output.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
Preaching to the choir.
you know, it took me a while to rebound from that and to find my own team. And that just happened to be Big Loud, man. And, you know, I got to get in with, you know, guys like Morgan Wallen and Hardy and Ernest, like in the beginning of their careers. And, you know, and to build with Joey and Seth and Craig over there, like they were my guys before we ever dreamed of any of this stuff. So, you know, having that team is really everything, man.
how did you kind of get started coming from Dallas, right? And then you kind of did a little of the 6th Street stuff in Austin, and then you end up in LA. Like, what was kind of the thought, and how did that whole journey kind of take shape? Because not a lot of, for the most part, most people don't try the LA thing and then end up in Nashville and have success at it. So kind of how did that all come to be?
They don't, you know, it was my best friend I grew up with, man. Colin Roberts. I call him Robbie, aka Cadillac. Shout out to Robbie. I fucking love you, man. You changed my life. But he went to school at a company called Media Tech, I think, out of Arlen Studios in Austin. And that's where fucking Sublime recorded Sublime. I think Bradley OD'd on that carpet in there. Stevie Ray recorded there. And all this, and he goes, "Hey man, I'm going to school. I'm getting 80 free hours of recording time in a major studio. You should come out and record your songs that you write." I said, "Oh man, I don't know. I'm about to start a moving company, and like, you know, my girl at the time, like, we're gonna move in and we're gonna have some babies. I'm just gonna flip houses, and I'd probably I'd probably have more money actually if I would have stayed there now. Market's on fucking crazy. Like houses were like $40,000, $50,000." $100,000. Now they're like 400. Anyway, so I ended up moving there and writing songs, and they were fucking terrible, and nobody liked them, and so we ended up just doing cover songs. But I started writing with a producer out there named Sean McCarthy. Shout out to Maxstar, and he had beats, and I started writing over those, and that's what got me the Jonas Brothers cut. And then that sent me to LA, which got me into the Terrible Deal, but it's making me think of this guy. We called him Black Milk. He was a black guy that had and I can't remember his real name. I think it was Will, but he was from Chicago. Anyways, for some reason he could lactate. So he would squeeze, he would squeeze this like milk out of his nipple. So we called him Black Milk. Anyways. Yeah. Shout out to Milk.
Shout out Black Milk.
Black Milk, baby.
Man, this is my favorite podcast of all time.
He goes, but when I moved in, because he was one of the roommates in the house I moved to when I went to LA, and he'd been in the game for a while, and he'd written with like a bunch of people. And I said, "Man, what do you have advice for me?" And he said, "Man, just go through every door that opens." It's like, if a door fucking opens and it's for writing for a kid on Disney, go write for it. And you know, that's really the sauce, man. You know, don't give up.
You're just perfecting the craft little by little, even if you're forcing your brain to kind of, which we have to do here as a business, right? It's like, stop. No, this is not my thing. This is for this. I got to like change my brain and boom.
Yeah.
Find a theme or whatever. Like, that's interesting because I don't know if we've talked to anybody, Wes, that had that writing kind of history where when you say, like, when I look at you and hear you, every other word out of our mouth, if our mothers listen, they're always like, "You guys say fuck a lot." You're saying fuck a lot, right? And it's like, oh, I got a cup for the Jonas Brothers. It's just like, oh, would not expect that if you didn't know anything, right? On its surface. So, I mean,
Yeah.
How did
don't you think
the
a lot of the songwriters are like, did it get to a phase in Nashville where it became, I don't want to say like formulaic or too easy, where it was just like, what was really standing out? It was like everybody was kind of trying to do the same thing. This is not so much right now, but like 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. I, I don't know how do you stand on that? You make an amazing ballad about murder, like Hardy and Lainey Wilson just did 5 years ago. That shit ain't getting played,
No.
you know. So, I mean, you got to just kind of stay with your kind of gut, right? And what you do
Yeah.
well.
You know, part of going through different doors and going through your own thing is you figure out eventually like what fuels your fire. Obviously, you got to pay bills. So it's like this hybrid mix of like, what do people like? What's true to you and unique, and then what can pay the bills and what people are going to consume. You know, because there's a lot of you know, door guys in Nashville that you got to get through to get something going, and if you can get it to their standard and push it forward, and I think where I've found success, and I think some of the boys have, and ladies too, you know, Haley Witters is doing it her
we
way,
love her, yeah.
love her?
doing her songs, and like it's unique and it's working. Is she's figuring out what really matters to her and what she can bring to the game that's her, you know, so that we're not just writing songs for Florida, Georgia, and for, you know, Luke, Brian, and Blake, man. It's like you can only do so much when you're writing for them, and you're holding so much originality back, you know, that those people are hard to fucking relate to, man. They're fucking superstars. And
I mean, Blake Shelton has a house in Malibu. Like, come on.
dude, you know, he came a long way from Oklahoma, man. And along that way, I think he became really unrelatable. And so writing for him, we have to hold back a lot. And it turns into a PG-13 movie, you know, when it should be rated R, man, because that's real life.
Well said.
Yeah, that's I've never heard it really expressed that way, but I feel like that's
Very well said.
pretty articulate. When have you gone into a write ever where you're kind of like have immediately hit it off with someone that you didn't necessarily know before? Because like sometimes you just show up in Nashville. For people who don't know, there's like, you know, you're a songwriter, you're like, hey, you're writing with your publishing company's like, hey, you're writing with so and so today, and you just got to like somehow fucking make magic happen with two strangers in a room. And have you ever had a moment where you're like,
It's like my worst nightmare, by
holy
the way.
shit, like this is that? Because then it's like 10 in the morning. It's not like you can like start cracking beers and stuff. Like,
Or maybe you do.
maybe you do. I don't know.
Sometimes you do. You know, I was just telling somebody I went to the NWP, the National Publishing thing yesterday, and a lot of songwriters were there celebrating like gold, platinum, multi-platinum songs. And so I got to see some of my old friends, and I ran into Ben Hayslip, who's part of the Peach Pickers. And I saw Chase McGill there, and they were one of my first sessions in town. I'd never fucking met them. We sat down, and a lot of times I tell people this, I'm like, either I'm going to knock it out of the park with you the first day, and that'll probably be the best song we ever write together. Because for some reason, I got this baby shit where if I'm in with somebody I don't know, I'm like, I'm going to show the fuck up and show the fuck out and turn up. And we wrote a song called Small Town After All. I think Rodney Akins is about to actually put it out. I think he just went in and cut it and is about to put it out. So we were all together celebrating, and we were like, dude, that was our first session. So sometimes it's magic and sometimes it's not. And I think it forces people to be on their A game.
That's awesome. I was double checking a couple of your fan questions, but we saw a few hangout sessions you had with our guy Koe Wetzel. We've said it a million times, he's the hardest guy to keep up with ever. He's gotten a little better. He told us recently. He woke up from a nap at 2:00 and was drinking wine. He goes, I just need to To
do our 3 o'clock podcast.
How fun is it? How fun / exhausting is it to be on the road or do shows with Koe? Because that guy is just full throttle.
I actually just recovered and I've been off the road with them for about 2 months. Dude, I've realized that I maybe can't start drinking at 11 in the morning and then not go to bed till 11 the next morning. I lose my voice really easy. And, those guys have been together for 12 years. So it's a family affair, man. And so every night is family feast and they're all sitting at the table and it's just food is everywhere. It's a celebration. And I got caught up in it, man. And I got hurt, man, probably by the fifth show. I was like, boys, I maybe can't stay up till the sunrise with y'all. But they understood that, they support me and they really took us under their wings, being new on the road. And obviously having a writing history with Koe, we were coming up with a lot of ideas and I got to hear a bunch of his album before he put it out. Man,
he's so he's true rock star, like Wes has said too on the podcast. And then, but man, the sweetest guy we probably ever met. And then one of the nicest. So it's authenticity again. It's we've had so many experiences within the Nashville bubble where it didn't seem to kind of have that same authenticity. And Koe is that guy that, it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, to your point, how old are you? If you don't. 37. All right. What am I? 33?
34?
I forget. 34.
33.
I stopped paying attention. So we're kind of all similar. Koe's younger than us.
Yeah.
He just turned 30, right? So he's getting to that point where those hangovers.
It's gonna start slowing down a little bit.
Those hangovers, you can't deal with them anymore. You gotta you got a beautiful head of hair. You gotta worry about that hair a little more. A little less about the hangover.
No, am I losing it, Mom? Am I losing it?
Oh, I started shaving. I shave my head now. I just got the receding hairline started. Wes got good head of hair.
Yeah, I think mine's. I don't know if this.
On,
I started to wonder if this is
don't rub it in.
Back.
I shaved my.
I had a kid, moved, successful business. Was fucking around so much trying to, how do I put my hair, this, that, the receding hairline, and I go, hey, I can grow a beard. I'm just gonna shave this fucking head, and I want to try to look like X. I don't even know who the fuck I was looking at out there. I'm trying to think of somebody, and I go, I like it. 20 minutes before we started, I was upstairs shaving my head, taking a shower, got the music playing, kind of dancing around in my underwear. It's beautiful. I've got to go set an appointment, go get my haircut. You guys got to do that shit. So,
well, the thing is too, and I do that, and then I put a hat on right afterward. So it's what's the point?
Wes looks like he's trying to be a hockey player.
Yeah, it's still a dream. At 33 years old, I'm gonna walk on to the Blackhawks. I might make the team because they're that bad.
Man, I think it's all about accepting. The thing about the age and shit is just man, we earn these gray hairs and I
got some.
I'm trying to be proud of that, man, because a lot of people that I talk to that are in their 40s, which I'm getting close to, man, they're like, fuck, man, I just wish I was younger. And I'm like, yeah, but we fucking worked our ass off to get here, man, and you can't make that shit up,
Right.
And you honestly can't take that from somebody either, man. Now, some of these young bucks that catch it like wildfire, you're like, yeah, but you haven't proved yourself. So, for the OGs, man, we've earned a lot of these gray hairs, and I think we should walk around proud no matter how the fuck we look, man.
Yeah, this is from stress.
Right.
Me shaving my head off, growing the business.
Stress, dude, y'all got a hell of a business, man. I'm a big fan, and y'all are making waves. I'm excited to see where y'all go with the future, man. So I'm glad I got to sit down and chop it up with you.
Yeah, big more things coming, I hope.
You too.
Yeah, we're gonna be in Chicago, I think, for the Role Models tour, man. You gotta hit me up and come in and check it out, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you got any Colorado dates coming? I'm in Colorado.
No, I think that
you look like a Colorado guy. You look like a guy I would see walking down the street, smoking a joint.
Rhino.
Look, I love a hike, man. Like I love a
Yeah.
hike, fucking nature, dude. It's like Colorado women are beautiful, man. We got down in Grand Junction. I really love that town.
Oh yeah. Nice.
That's probably where I'll go when everything goes to shit.
So are you single?
Yeah, I'm single. You know,
Oh, she might listen.
I got a couple ladies, and they know they're not the only ones, but I got a couple ladies I'm messing with. Hi, sorry, y'all should introduce yourselves if you are, but yeah, man, I'm single right now. You know, honestly, boys, I'm ready. I'm at a time in my life when I am ready to settle down.
You're ready to decide which one of the two.
Yeah, but now I'm on the road, man, and you know, I thought I was just gonna live the rest of my life writing songs for other people and sitting out, you know, in my backyard and shooting birds with a BB gun, but now I'm on the road, so you know, I think it's changing the way my life's looking, and I think it's gonna change the lady I get in my life. So if there's any single ladies out there that want to roll with a rebel who ain't gonna be home all the time, holler at me.
Whoa. I love it. For you to actually make that transition to a recording artist and a performer, like, was that difficult or frightening, or was it like kind of a lifelong dream, or was you kind of just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this myself? What was kind of the approach?
I mean, well, my self-motivation is very fucking low. Okay. I had a gym membership. That fucking money. Like I'm just my self-motivation is tough. And I feel like I thrive on being around other people and working with other people. That's why I love co-writing songs and hanging with cats like y'all, man, because that's how we come up with ideas and we come to realizations. You know, it's all three of those things: terrifying, fucking mind numbing, and what I've always wanted to do. You know, it just, the pieces had to line up. And you know, it kind of reminds me of what Black Milk was saying. You know, you go through every door and you stay patient, stay calm. You know, good things come to those who wait. And that's how you get something that's worth something, man. If it comes overnight like that, man, it's probably not worth shit.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
The climb, right? That's
Yeah.
without it just what.
Who wants to go
It's what-
viral?
It's like the lottery, yeah, like the lottery winners, and they just go bankrupt within a year because they just get money. And it's like, it's not, you didn't work for the money, you just got it, and it's a whatever. But somebody who's obviously been blowing up quite a while now, the last few years, your buddy Morgan Wallen, and we got a note here that you were at his first stadium show in Texas. Was that last weekend?
Yes,
What was
sir.
that like? Because that, I think, didn't Ernest have to fill in for Hardy, the injuries they had to deal with, and hopefully the bus driver's doing all right. But pretty wild to see him kind of get to that point, right?
It was mind blowing, boys. If I'm messing up my words, it's because my mind got freaking blown in Texas, man. 48,000 people. I've been going to Morgan shows, man, since 2015. So I like to like kind of be down. I like to be in the pit. I like to be in the middle, and I like to be at the nosebleeds and kind of walk around and sit in an empty seat and kind of just soak it up. There was no sitting. There was no empty seat. People were standing singing every fucking word, man. You know, to see how far him and the boys have come, man. I mean, dude, I think that's the making of a superstar in front of our eyes right now, man. I mean, that's, to me, that's the next Garth Brooks. I think his songs are just so good, man. They're just so good. And he only sang one of mine up there. And I'm just, at this point, I'm just a damn fan. And
well, him and
every word.
I mean, him and Luke Combs, like for younger guys, like seeing what they're doing. I went to the Luke Combs show here at Denver Broncos Stadium recently, and you're just like, damn. And then you see like a guy like Eric Church kind of just, so to speak, take Morgan under his wing a little bit after all the shit that went down. And I mean,
yeah,
you know, it says a lot, because I think some of these older guys, you know, they're seeing like, okay, like let's try to, yeah, and the new wave. Country music has those waves, right? And you're on that new wave right now, and it's cool to see, right? Have you met Eric or Morgan talked about that? Because that's a really unique thing that I don't think anybody expected. When we saw them golfing and shit, we're just like, whoa, what the hell? Like, where did this come from? Darius Rucker looked like he was on an edible on the couch hanging out with them.
Dude, Rucker is a smoke dog, dude. He is a smoke dog, man. But yeah, to see Morgan, get surrounded by his idols, man. I mean, Chief is like his dude. When I remember first sitting and writing and talking with Morgan, I'm like, he's just talking about Chief and he's talking about Eric and like how big of an influence he is. And, that's really what we need in this industry is for vets and for, people that have paved the way to be the big dogs and open the wings up and show us how to do this because, it's wild out there, man. You can get really lost in there. And, between the alcohol and adrenaline, the women in addiction, man, it's in the music. It's really easy to get lost. And, we talked about that on Living the Dream with Morgan.
Yeah.
We got to have that, man. People got to step up. And so I'm calling on the big dogs right now to step the fuck up, man, because that's what I'm trying to do. Even as not a big dog, just as a songwriter and as a new artist, man, I want to help the next Morgan Wallen. I want to help the next Luke Combs and Ernest. Like, I want to inspire them. I think that's important, man, because I want to leave this place a little better than we left it, man, with some good music so that we don't have to go through what we had to go through for the last, 8 years in country music. Shit.
Who's your, Eric Church, to Morgan's, Eric, who's that kind of hero for you where you're look up to and you're like, man, it's my guy, it's my girl, this is who I kind of idolize in this business?
I mean, man, I'm going with George Strait, man. Living is George, man. He's really just set a standard, man, and been a good human. There's nobody that stopped listening to his music because he was a bad guy. Mm-hmm. There just isn't. I know people that have stopped listening to Blake because of what happened with Miranda. People.
Oh, that cut them in half. Their fans.
Oh my God. Our Twitter, either article.
We'll post a Miranda thing, and then there's always, it doesn't even matter what it is. Miranda announces a new tour. Cool. Very run-of-the-mill news for a Tuesday afternoon. And then fucking Blake fan is in there talking shit like that bitch. And it's
oh, and then the other way.
Yeah, the other way around. And then it's Blake's a scumbag. Fuck him. And it's
yeah,
it's and these people are just hold on to that so tight,
so tight. Get a life.
Well, yeah, but that's in the person, it's the music, but it's the person. So I think, we need to have role models out there that step up. And I think we've seen that with Church and Wallen, and the result is incredible. Morgan is at the top of his game right now. I've never heard him sound so good. I've never heard the band sound so good. And I think people need to do that sooner. Because with, great talent comes great responsibility. So I'm trying to keep that in mind as I go. So I get hit up by songwriters all the time. I try to respond to everybody and give them my 2 cents. So whenever y'all are ready to do a Whiskey Riff songwriters panel or something, man, I'll jump on, listen to demos with you.
We could probably Wes and I we've had a few artists even just about us writing. It was 8 years plus of 20,000 blogs that we've done and social media captions and I'm we got some fucking ideas for writing, but it's
I got my guitar right over here, man.
Wes plays a little guitar. Let's
fucking do it,
man. But before we let you go,
my publisher's calling. Hold on, I gotta go.
That's all Nashville, right? It's hey, I want to write some.
Let's write together, man.
Come on. All right, before we let you go, though, real quick, obviously the new album, Tears the Size of Texas, amazing stuff. And then you're just touring for, what are you going to tour for, through this early December, then relax the rest of the year? Or what's the plan?
Yeah. Yep. December, I think 14th is the last show with Koe and with Bones Owen. We're doing the NFR, the National Bull Riding, NBR, National Bull Riding in Vegas, which is going to be really nice, man. I think I tried not to cuss right there, Mom. But I think that's going to be a good way to shut it down. And then we're pretty much taking the rest of December and January off, and we're working on the next album right now. We're working on the deluxe. We're working on writing new songs, and it's strange to put out a project that I've been holding on to for so long and then be like, all right, now go write new songs.
Yeah.
It is weird, right? It's like your baby almost, and you got to like move on to the next one. And then you go back and like, I wish I did it differently. Like artists have always told us that. What was that Cody Canada was when he was saying he's like listening to like old records?
Oh yeah. I mean, he basically recut his entire Soul Gravy record just to like, I wanted to redo it.
He's like, it just grinded my gears for so many years. And he's just like, I wanted to go back and do it differently because I felt like forced to make it. So I can't imagine what that's like for you, but I mean, hey man, you got a lot of fans and people were loving when we posted your music, which we will continue to do.
Appreciate that, fellas.
Love
that means
music, man.
I sat with Trent Tomlinson the other day. If y'all don't know him,
oh, we know him, yeah. Y'all know not personally, but
yeah, y'all got to holler at him, man. But he's a great artist and a great songwriter, and I spoke with him the other night. We had a round together, and they're coming for me. He said, I said, man, I'm so excited about the album. I just feel like it took forever to make. And he goes, man, but that means that you made it perfect and you ain't got no regrets about it. And he's right, man. Like I'm not looking back on any of it. I listened to it like 2 times on the drive, and I'm like, chef's kiss, man. I'm so happy with it. And I hope the fans can relate, man. I'm excited to hear what people say and hit me up about songs, man. It inspires me to inspire other people.
Love it.
Amen, man.
Well, this is the most people I've on a podcast in a while. You've been awesome. Hang on real quick after, because we want to find the.
We want to hear about that song.
Oh shit! All right, I'll tell y'all.